awkward about this. Can't figure out how to say what this book is about. My voice does not want to do it. My language, my tongue, my blah. My name is Meek. Welcome back to the Cauldron, and it is once again a new month, which means it's another round of TBR Tombola. In case you didn't know, this is Bookwitch Reviews on my channel, and since October last year I play a monthly TBR game called TBR Tombola, where I pull 7 numbers from a tombola machine, or a bingo machine as some people call it. Each number then has a prompt attached to it, and I will then pick books out from those prompts. I am allowed to switch out 2 books on my TBR every month as long as they still fit the prompt. However, if I do not read the books that I have picked, or a book that fit that prompt, then I have to read it in the month afterwards. Those are my rules. I will leave a link to my original I will leave a link to my original video down below explaining all of the prompts and explaining the majority of the rules. At one point I will get around to making a TBR Tombola 2.0 and sort out my rules properly, but that is not that time now. Today it is time to pick my books for June. How are we already halfway through the year? I don't know. And because June is Pride Month in the majority of the world, I feel like the majority of Pride happens in August time in the UK, but the rest of the world apparently it's June time, and that's just another excuse for me to read even more of the queer books on my TBR. So I have tried really hard to fit the majority of my prompts in with a queer representing book. So let's just jump straight into the numbers for June. Time for a new round of TBR Tombola. Because anywho, the first number is 44, and 44's prompt is Ownvoices, and for that we are kicking off the month exactly how I wanted to, and I will be reading Pet by Okwego Omesi. Okwego Omesi is a non-binary black author, and this book follows Jam and her friend Redemption in this sort of utopian world where monsters are no longer, the evil is gone. However, all of that changes when Jam meets Pet, who is apparently hunting monsters in Redemption's house. So there may be a bit of dystopia, utopia going on. I also know that there is a trans main character in this book. I'm not sure whether Jam is the trans main character or if it is one of her friends, but I am very excited about reading this one. It just sounds really cool, and so many people say really nice things about it, and I also have been for a while wanting to pick up something by Okwego Omesi as well. So first up, we are starting well. Next number is 11, which means an adult fantasy, and I will hopefully be reading one of my most anticipated releases of the year, and that is She Who Became the Sun by Shelley Parker Chan, which comes out on the 22nd of July. I am really trying to read my arcs and get through it, and this one is just one that I have been looking forward to. Some people are sort of comparing it to a reimagining of Mulan, but actually this book is a reimagining of the rise of the Ming Dynasty, and in it we follow a young woman who takes the place of her deceased brother, who was promised fame and fortune, and she was promised to sort of die into nothingness. That came out wrong. And it was sort of foretold that she was meant to become nothing. However, as she takes her brother's place in the army, dressed as a man, she sort of sets out to do much more than anyone had ever thought that she could. And it just sounds so very good. I am so excited about this one. I believe that there is quite a lot of LGBT characters, but here we go anyway. I'm very excited about this one. Next number is 36, which means queer rep. Obviously, the TBR Tombola gods just want me to read what I want to read this month, and I will finally be reading Nightshine by Tessa Gratton. This is one of the ugliest covers that I own. I'm sorry. I am so pumped about this story behind this cover, but I hate this cover with a passion, and there is part of me that's literally like, I may just accidentally lose the the dust jacket, and then we're just gonna live like this. But Nightshine by Tessa Gratton is a young adult / new adult fantasy novel where we are following an orphan girl called Nothing who lives in this castle and just sort of sneaks around. No one really knows who she is or how she gets into all of these places, but she's somehow become friends with the Crown Prince, who one day disappears. Nothing is absolutely certain that the Crown Prince has been abducted. Why can't I say that word? He's been kidnapped by the sorceress who eats girls, and now Nothing has to set out on this adventure to save her best friend. I'm so excited about this one. I know that it has some brilliant non-binary rep in here as well, and also I really want to read it. I love Tessa Gratton's weird writing so much. Lady Hotspur is one of my favorite books because it's just so weird and so queer. And this one has been high on my TBR for so long, but it just keeps sort of slipping out. So now we're doing it. Next number is 57, and that is to read a book outside of my regular genre. And I am going to try real hard to read this one. This is Plain Bad Heroines by Emily M. Danforth, which is Danforth or Danforth? I don't know. This is an absolute chonker. However, it does look quite a lot bigger than it actually is. I believe that it's around 600. Yeah, it's only like 608 pages. It's just the way that it is bound. I believe there's also some illustrations in here by Sarah Lautman. Bad Heroines is a thriller / dark academia novel, and in it we are following this group of very famous young actresses who show up at a boarding school that has only recently opened up again to sort of do a filming of these brutal murders that happened in the early 1900s. However, once the actresses start filming, things seem to start blurring in from the past. So the past and the present are no longer quite distinguishable from each other, and the curse may actually be real. I have heard very many good things about this one. As you may know, I am not a big thriller horror person, and I don't know if this book is going to make me terrified of wasps all of a sudden. It might, but however, it is also sapphic, and I have really gotten into sort of the dark academia aesthetic. One day you will see me dressed to the nines, if I can ever figure out how to do it. But this is a book that I have been very excited about ever since I saw it, and I bought it immediately, and now I'm slightly scared to read it, but also, you know, sapphic and excited. Next up we have number 22, which is to continue a series, and this is actually the only book in my TBR currently that is not mainly focused on the queer representation, and that's because I am not reading a whole lot of like series that have main queer representation that I, you know, haven't already read, and a lot of my other ones are duologies where I would need to reread the first book, and I'm trying not to do that today because it did not happen in May. So I am reading Black Powder War by Naomi Novik, which is the third book in the His Majesty's Dragon series. This is a historical fantasy set during the Napoleon War, but we have dragons, and in the first book, Tamar, we meet Captain Will Lawrence, who sort of accidentally becomes a dragon rider. However, him and his dragon Tamar end up forming this beautiful bond. It's a really quick read. It's really funny and weird. Normally I'm not super into historical fantasy, but that seems to be changing. But I am very excited about continuing this series. I am sad, however, that I can't find all the books in the original covers, because I am not as crazy about these covers as I am about the originals. Just not how it is, but I am excited about reading this one. Next number is 82, which means that my girlfriend get to pick, so let's just stick her right in here.
Yes, these are the picks that we got. Got In the Ravenous Dark, Sweet and Bitter Magic, or Crown Chasers. All of these are vaguely queer, and I would like you to pick one.
They all look the same to me.
They do not look the same. Crown Chasers is a sci-fi, Sweet and Bitter Magic is a YA, and In the Ravenous Dark is like a new adult one.
Sci-fi.
Okay.
As you can just see, girlfriend decided that I am going to be reading Crown Chasers by Rebecca Coffindaffer. This one, I believe, is quite a action-packed sci-fi. I believe that we are following the reluctant sort of heir to the throne who doesn't really want to become king, but feels like she has to take part in this race, who ends up choosing the next like king of the universe or king of the galaxy. I'm not entirely sure. Everyone that I know who read this really loved it. I believe that we have a bi-side character who's called Hell Monkey, and I'm just really excited about reading this one. It's been high on my list for a while. Everything is high on my list, we all know this, but yeah, this one, look at how pretty it is. I believe that the sequel is also coming out in 2021, or it is already out. The last number is 53, which is Magical Realism, and for that I will be reading another very recently acquired book, and that is The Ruthless Lady's Guide to Wizardry by C.M. Wagnermere. And I'm just very excited about this one, okay? It just sounds really funny and weird, and as I've literally just mentioned, historical fantasy is becoming sort of like an odd soft spot for me. So this one we are following Delaria Wells, who is sort of a con artist, a partly educated magician, and someone who just sort of wants to have a good time and make some money. And to do that, she sort of sneaks her way into a job where she has to protect this young woman before her marriage. However, this turns out to not be as easy as she thinks it does, even though she has a nice new crush on this very confident and well-bred Wynn. But however, demons are coming, the undead are coming, and it just sounds like it's a weird, funky sort of thing, and I'm very excited about it. Also, I was absolutely captivated by this cover. I know that it is queer, and that is pretty much all I want. Like, it's literally, it sounds so good and so strange. Then I also have a couple of books that I did not read last month / the month before. We still have The Bookwitch by Rin Chupeco, which was from my April TBR, and then we have 3 other books that I have not yet read in May. And since this is the very end of May, I don't think I'm going to happen. I may have started a Dark and Hollow Star before the end of the month, and then that will be good. But other than that, I still need to reread Wet Queen, and I still need to reread Dark Shores, which I have not done because this month was once again a little bit slow, and I just read other things, including a lot of arcs. Which reminds me that I also have about 3 arcs for this month that I also need to sneak in. I need to read Afterlove, I need to read The Jasmine Throne, which I have sort of started, so I might not need to read that. And I also need to read For the Wolf and Fire with Fire. So, you know, there's plenty for me to get around to this month, if I can do it. I'm just dragging myself doing this now. This is just who I am. Oh my God, stop. But anywho, this is my stack of books from the TBR Tombola of June. Then we also, you know, maybe have some more books from last month's TBR. I mean, you know, all of the arcs that may be swimming around, but I'm very excited about this month's TBR. They're all, most of them, pretty much all of them are queerish, and I am very excited about reading them. And then I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button at the same time so you don't miss out on any of my other videos. You can see me try and tackle my TBR in my weekly reading vlogs if you would like to, or you can just check out all my previous TBR videos. There will be a link to the video list down below. So I hope that you guys okay. I hope you are prepared for all of the content of June, because I have some actual videos planned, and I'm excited about hopefully getting up to 3 videos a week, but we'll see. I hope you guys are all okay. I hope that you are having a wonderful time, and I hope that you remember that I am proud of you. You're doing great, and I'll see you guys next time with another video. Bye.